Have to deal with it later on in the future, have to deal with so much debt. Like if tuition's the same, then that makes it easier for me.
But there's not all good news. The president says layoffs are still on the horizon, but for an exact number,
we don't know what the exact number is yet. We continue to work through it.
But he says the layoffs are to save money in order to keep students like Samantha from paying more for her tuition.
I think you have to make some hard decisions, and sometimes it's not going to be the easiest thing, and you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. But I mean, they're doing it for the students, so ultimately I think it's a good decision.
And the president says he does not know the exact number of layoffs, but he will know within the next couple of weeks. And until then, we're going to continue to track this story all the way up until those layoffs occur. For NewsCenter, I'm Nick Oliver.
Thanks, Nick. Morehead State sits with Eastern Kentucky University and the University of Louisville as the third state university to freeze tuition.
Morehead State University is going to be offering a marching band course in this coming semester. Anyone interested in being part of the MSU marching band must have been a member of their high school concert, marching band, or high school color or winter guard. If you do not have a major or minor in music, but you are interested, you can sign up. This announcement comes after Eastern Kentucky University made an announcement stating that they will no longer be funding the marching band, starting in the fall of 2018. It has not been confirmed if the announcements are connected.
MSU's Engineering and Technology Management Spring 2018 graduating class achieved a 95.65% pass rate on the Certified Technology Manager exam. 45 of the 46 students in the program achieved a passing score. The exam itself is a nationally administered exam designed to certify the graduates. A minimum score of 95 out of 160 is required in multiple categories in order to receive certification.
Kentucky's leader in agriculture was at Morehead's farm on Monday learning about the Vet Tech program. Commissioner of Agriculture Ryan Quarles posted his stop on Twitter. During his visit, he learned about the equine industry, along with what MSU offers students pursuing a career in agriculture. He also took a tour of the university's new facilities. The tour was a part of a multi-county tour Quarles is making across eastern Kentucky.
The university bookstore is still undergoing renovations. Some art students here on campus are upset about the availability of art supplies this close to finals week. NewsCenter Drew Spangler has more.
We're very close, so they could have done it anytime afterwards.
Empty shelves that haven't been stocked for weeks. With finals approaching fast, art students say they wish the university would have held off on the renovations to the bookstore until the summer, or just simply made more room.
If MSU really feels like students are a priority, including art students, then they would have taken out useless things like baseball caps, moved them together, hoodies, and made more room for art students to actually have supplies.
With renovations stretching out until late April or early May, not having art supplies in the bookstore could empty some students' pockets.
Coming from an art major, this sucks because if they plan to take out anything, that's where I get all of my art supplies because I don't really have a lot of money. So I can't go out to an actual art store where it's like sometimes it's more expensive, and just the fact that I don't have that money outside of the school would make it a lot harder on me.
It's only an inconvenience to us. I don't know why they picked us. Maybe we were just lower priority.
We reached out to bookstore officials who didn't want to answer questions. For NewsCenter, Drew Spangler.
Local law enforcement will be hanging up the uniform and replacing it with an apron on Monday to help raise money for the Special Olympics. The yearly fundraiser will take place at Buffalo Wild Wings from 5 to 9 p.m. During the event, officers from Morehead Police, Round County Sheriff's Office, MSU Police, and the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife will be delivering wings and acting as waiters for the evening. All tips the officers receive will benefit over 8,000 Special Olympic athletes across Kentucky. Local law enforcement agencies from all over Kentucky take part in the event every year. Last year, the event raised nearly $100,000.
Now for a quick look at weather with Kyle Blankenbuehler.
Well, right now outside it's looking pretty cloudy and chilly, around 45 degrees, and it might warm up a little tomorrow at around 60. But for the rest of the week, it looks like we're going to see rain, and more rain. So typical spring weather, mid-50s, pretty chilly, but what can you do?
Thanks, Kyle. Stay tuned. NewsCenter has more news after the break.
Kentucky Governor Matt Bevins made some controversial comments after the backlash of thousands of teachers rallying in response to the pension bill. More than 30 school districts were closed Friday, and thousands of teachers came to rally in Frankfort. According to Bevin, this did more harm than good. Let's take a quick look at his comments, followed up with his apology.
You know, here's what's crazy to me. You know how many hundreds of thousands of children today were left home alone? I guarantee you somewhere in Kentucky today a child was sexually assaulted that was left at home.
One of the other things that's clear about unintended consequences is sometimes the words that people say, the way in which they say it, or just the misunderstanding that comes from that also can have unintended consequences. And I think that is what happened from the very things that I said. The responsibility for such things falls on the person doing the speaking. In this case, that was me.
Bevin's apology has even received backlash, and teachers are still not happy. Many feel like the apology is just as insulting as the previous made comments.
An arson investigation is underway in Flemingsburg. According to police, a fire was initially started in a garbage can outside of a residence on Sunday. The Flemingsburg Fire Department would then go on to respond to another trash can fire on Tuesday. Later the same day, city workers discovered a trash can with partially burned fire inside of it. The residential arson is currently still under investigation by the Kentucky State Police. Residents living in the area are encouraged to call the Flemingsburg police if there is any suspicious activity.
Now to a story that we brought to you in February and now is again creating a stir in neighboring counties. The Boyd County Health Department says another outbreak of hepatitis A is creating a health concern in nearly 300 people, including one death. According to the department, they say the outbreak initially started at a Waffle House in February, but on Monday they traced another outbreak to a Texas Roadhouse in Ashland. So far, 6 counties have been affected, including Boyd, Greenup, and neighboring Carter. 3 counties are also on the watch list near Louisville. Symptoms include vomiting, diarrhea, and nausea. Although Round County is not on the list of affected areas, health officials say they are actively giving vaccination shots.
Over 1,000 grams of drugs are off the streets of Huntington, West Virginia, after police alongside the drug enforcement agencies say they took down one of the city's biggest dealers. After executing the search warrant, officials say they found 760 grams of heroin, 450 grams of fentanyl, and 167 grams of cocaine. 15 police were arrested in the sting. Prosecutors say they are fighting for the maximum sentence for all involved. They say many are from the Detroit area. Huntington is currently the leader of heroin use in the country. Round County officials say a lot of drugs that come into the county come from Kentucky bordering city.
May the strongest warrior win. And that's exactly what happened this past Thursday at the Eagle Warrior competition on campus. Olivia Lead has more on the story.
One town, one team, 2 warriors. This past Thursday, Morehead State hosted the 3rd annual Eagle Warrior competition at the Recreation and Wellness Center on campus. This competition allows students to show their strengths and what they are capable of.
I feel really powerful and strong and independent.
Student Katie Cooper participated in this year's Eagle Warrior and says that she feels like she can do anything while weightlifting and wants other girls to know one thing.
Just do it.
Joseph Hill, another student who competed in the Eagle Warrior, says just how he prepared for this event.
I prepared, I increased my training, I've been eating a lot better, I've been really strict about my sleeping habits, been trying to get my protein up.
Hill also says why he weightlifts.
I started weightlifting because I was always frustrated, and you come in here and it's just you on a bar and you just gotta move the weight. It's really nice.
Each contestant competed in squat, bench, and deadlift portions of the competition. For NewsCenter, I'm Olivia Leet.
Thanks, Olivia. The Eagle Warrior competition is something that a lot of students look forward to each year. Stay with us. When we get back, Kyle joins us with our weather update.
Dang it. Got it. I know what to do. Yes.
Yo, why are you looking at bags, bro? What you need is a chick magnet. You put me in your room and boom, chicks. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm Kyle Blankenbuehler with your weather update. As you can see, the current conditions in Moorhead, Kentucky are around 46 degrees and partly cloudy, humidity around 53%, and winds around 13 miles per hour. Record temperatures in 1941, a high of 89, and in 1983, a low of 22, a normal high of 70 degrees and normal low of 45. Taking a look at the temperature map, in Moorhead and in Ashland, it's the same temperature, 46 degrees. In Lexington, slightly cooler at 45, and in London, slightly cooler at 44, and in Frankfort, slightly warmer at 48. Taking a look at the live radar, courtesy of WKYT, as you can see across the map, it's mostly clear, not a cloud in sight. A little bit of rain north of Frankfort, but nothing too much. And then over in Charleston, there is a bit of rain. But throughout Kentucky, in Moorhead, Lexington, down in Pikeville, there doesn't appear to be any sort of cloud cover or rain. For tonight's forecast, it's going to be cloudy with lows around 32 degrees, a 0% chance of precipitation, and sunset around 8:14. For tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny with a little bit of cloud. Highs around 59 degrees, and sunrise at 6:51. Now taking a look at the 7-day forecast. On Friday, it's going to be slightly warmer at 60 degrees, a mixture of sun and clouds, and then Friday night, pretty cool at 28. On Saturday, slightly warmer at 63, but mostly cloudy and overcast, lows of 34 on Saturday night. On Sunday, slightly cooler at 58 and a 20% chance of showers later in the evening, 40 degrees on Sunday night. On Monday, highs around 54 and more rain in the evening or throughout the day, lows around 42. And as you can see on Tuesday and on Wednesday, slightly more rain, showers likely at 40% on Tuesday, highs of 59 degrees, and then lows of 44. And then on Wednesday, highs 55. A cold front will be sweeping through later in the day, and then lows around 35. This has been your weather. Up next is Olivia with sports.
Your Moorhead Lady Eagles softball team was on the road earlier this week in Dayton, Ohio, taking on Wright State for a doubleheader. For Game 1, the Lady Eagles got 2 quick runs in the opening period to start the game, as the Raiders tried to answer back with 2 runs as well in the 3rd inning. The Eagles' bats continued on adding runs to the score in every inning starting after the 5th inning, leaving the final score 7-3. As Game 2 approached, the Raiders struggled once again as pitcher Allison Rager held Wright State to only 1 run for the game. The Lady Eagles got their first score in the 2nd inning and then scored again in the 5th and 7th innings, only to finish up the game. The final score was 4-1 as Game 2 ended. Lady Eagles head home with 2 non-conference victories, putting them 22-12 of the 2018 season. Moving on to baseball, the Eagles have been riding the high wave this month of April as they took on West Virginia Tech earlier this week for another victory added to their season. The Eagles have been playing tremendously, moving to 8-1 just for this month of April, including back-to-back sweeps in league play. West Virginia Tech has been an easy win for Moorhead State, and they lead with a 10-0 stat of the all-time series throughout the years. The Eagles have outscored the Golden Bears 89-24 within the consecutive season, having all games been played at Allen Field. Eagle baseball had been adding a number of amendments to the Moorhead State record books as well as the current stat books. Two left-handed hitting outfielders, Jake Hammond and Connor Pauley, have delivered a team leading of 16 RBIs this month. The Eagles have a 3-game series this upcoming weekend against Austin Peay, and you can watch live on the ovcdigitalnetwork.com. The Morehead State men's bowling team will compete in the 2018 United States Bowling Congress Intercollegiate Team Championships, in which opens today at the Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Eagle bowlers finished 4th in the Stratford, New Jersey, and sectional qualifier to qualify for the ITC. The men's team has made it to the national tournament 3 straight years under Coach Eric Spurlock's leadership. The Eagle bowlers finished in the top 10 of the 2002, 2003, and 2004-2005 seasons, also runners-up in the 2003 tournament, and took 3rd place in 2005. You can check www.bowl.com for additional updates throughout the tournament. Canadian freshman Tia Williams from Toronto has become one of Morehead State's soccer key players in the past year. The Toronto native sat down with NewsCenter's Miranda Crockett to share how transitioning to another country has been a huge change for her and how she's worked her way onto the field in her first year playing college soccer.
My name is Tia Williams. I play soccer at Morehead State University. The positions that I play are wing and striker. I am a freshman and my major is finance. So I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I ended up in Morehead, Kentucky because the coaches here saw me play at a showcase in Indiana, and then they worked with me, I worked with them, and I ended up here. Morehead, Kentucky is very different from Toronto. Morehead is in the country, Toronto is the city. So that's like a very big difference. So being a freshman here at Morehead playing soccer, I wouldn't say it was a drastic transition, but it was definitely a change because I had to quickly adapt to knowing 18 other girls and learning how to play with them in a matter of 2 weeks. So it was a big commitment, a lot of hard work. Preseason was tough, but it was enjoyable, and I got to learn about these other girls and the style of play. Also, I'm still working and proving myself because I'm still only a freshman. So every day that I step onto the field, it's a test. I'm proving myself and reminding my coaches why they chose me and what I bring to the table.
We'll be right back after the break.
Are you interested in becoming a service dog sitter or handler? 4 Paws for Ability at MSU allows members to get involved with the Service Dog Association. During your membership, you could help future service dogs get used to a public setting and get accustomed to staying on the clock in a home environment. For more information, follow MSU 4 Paws or email msusda@outlook.com.
Hey, nice shirt. Where'd you get it?
Thanks. I got it at the bookstore. They gave it out to the first 750 students to pick up an online order.
Nice.
And if you wear it to a home game, you get a free soda and a concessions discount.
Sweet. I'll have to go to more games now.
I hope I see you there.
Hey new MSU student, where are you off to in such a hurry?
I gotta head back to my dorm to make lunch before my next class.
Well, what if I told you there's a place that serves Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, Jump Asian Express, and the kitchen, and so much more.
Well, jeepers, mister, that sure would be swell, but where would a place like that be?
Welcome to 3rd Street Eats. It's open Monday through Thursdays, 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Fridays, they're open only till 4 p.m.
Mister, how am I supposed to pay for this food when I don't have any cash on me?
You can use Beaker Bucks, Flex, or your meal plan.
I'd like to use a meal, please. Thanks for showing me around 3rd Street, mister. This place is swell.
You're welcome, but oh wait. There you go. Now you're ready to take on the rest of your week. Go Eagles!
Delta Zeta rocked Button Auditorium on Tuesday as their annual lip sync contest, Great Pretenders, kicked off. NewsCenter James Daniels was there for the event.
Great Pretenders opened at 6:30 and kicked off with a routine done by the Delta Zeta girls. Kaya Kraft, a representative from Delta Zeta, says this event was a huge success.
Every year we host our annual event, Great Pretenders. It's a lip syncing competition where we invite every organization on campus to participate. They can have a performance and enter it and to help us raise money for Starkey. This year we had 10 organizations participate. It was a huge success.
The event sold over 600 tickets, and the proceeds went towards the Starkey Hearing Foundation, which helps build hearing aids for anyone with hearing problems. There was even a raffle held to give something back to the attenders of the event. With NewsCenter, I'm James Daniels.
The free speech area was packed again this week when street preachers visited to speak to students. Many gathered and were unhappy about the preachers' presence, but a student organization provided some comic relief.
Street preachers have once again visited Moorhead's campus, and those at the demonstration played a clever game of bingo based on what the preachers are known to say.
So the street preacher over here, he's proselytizing pretty hard. We came here to make a kind of a fun event out of it. We're doing street preacher bingo, so it's a list of like things that they usually say at street preacher events. If you win, we give you candy, which is kind of it puts a fun light to it.
The bingo game was organized by the Secular Student Alliance, of which Caleb Bowen is the president.
We are an organization for atheists, agnostics, and non-believers and their allies. We also do activism, we go to marches, we do volunteer work. Last week we cleaned up Lakiji Rock. Next week we're tabling for Sexual Harassment Awareness Month. So we do a lot of intersectional stuff outside of non-religion.
Despite hateful interactions with students, the preachers are still allowed to use the free speech area.
We're just here to say, not only is this not okay, but not all Christians believe this. They're not all negative people. Everything he says is negative, you know, and we just really want to put a positive message out because not everybody believes everything that he believes, and a lot of the things that he believes is harmful.
For NewsCenter, this is Jacob Butler.
President Donald Trump ordered military airstrikes in Syria early Saturday morning. This order came after Trump had made warnings to Russia on Twitter, telling them that he was planning on launching missiles on Syria. This comes after the chemical attack led by Syria that killed 40 people. Trump has stated that only military base housing chemical weapons were targeted. Russian President Vladimir Putin denounced this strike and stated that he feels it is an act of aggression. This attack came after Trump, along with his British and French allies, felt it was necessary to deter Syria's use of chemical weapons. Despite this, Russia insists that there is no evidence that chemical weapons were used and the attack was unwarranted. An investigation has been launched to look into the use of chemical weapons.
Two of the nation's top airliners are under fire after a new report that they ignored FAA regulations. Another airliner engine exploded, killing one passenger. On Sunday, CBS's 60 Minutes delivered a report on one of the America's cheapest airliners. Allegiant was ignoring plane malfunctions. The report gave details on multiple plane malfunction in midair and dangerous plane conditions. The report created outrage for their millions of customers, many later canceling their upcoming flights. Allegiant has yet to respond. A scary situation with an airliner occurred, killing one passenger. A Southwest Airlines plane was forced to make an emergency landing in Philadelphia after one of the engines exploded. Officials say the explosion caused a window to be destroyed, partially ejecting one passenger. The passenger was later identified as a mother of two and a Wells Fargo bank executive from Phoenix. Aviation officials, along with Southwest Airliners, are investigating the situation. Let's take a listen to the call between the pilot and the Southwest Flight and Control Center.
Okay, could you have the medical meet us there on the runway as well? We've got injured passengers.
Injured passengers, okay, and is your airplane physically on fire?
No, it's not on fire, but part of it's missing. They said there was a hole and someone went out.
I'm sorry, you said there was a hole and somebody went out? Southwest 1380, it doesn't matter. We'll work it out there. So the airport's just off to your right. Report it in sight, please.
Starbucks says more than 8,000 of their stores will closed temporarily in order to provide racial bias training to their nearly 175,000 employees. Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson made the announcement following an employee calling police on 2 black men sitting in a Philadelphia restaurant late last week. The 2 men were arrested and later released. According to CNN, the 2 men had been waiting on a friend when police arrived. A video later surfaced on social media, creating outrage across the nation. Johnson says since the event, the employee that called the police no longer works at the location. He now says 8,000 of the restaurants will be closed on May 29th for training.
Now for a story that might quench your thirst. The Kentucky famous soft drink, Ale-8-1, has introduced its first flavor. The 92-year-old company has never ventured into new flavor territory before, but is now introducing Cherry Ale-8-1. The announcement came shortly after the Winchester-based company released a mini Ale-8-1 bottle last month. Currently, the new Cherry Ale-8-1 is located in a handful of places in Kentucky, but come late spring, the drink will find its way into some convenience, retail, and grocery stores across the state. The new cherry flavor is made with real cherries alongside the secret family ginger ale recipe.
That's all the news we have for this week. Make sure to tune in next week to keep updated on the latest stories.
As always, thanks for watching and good night.